Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Your hosts, Disco Potato and Coach Jimmy, bringing it in hot for Game 2. We got some sweet plays, hopefully, this second game.
Yeah, let's see if EWU learned. It looks like we're hopping into pick bands here, but let's see if they learned why Katarina's on a very large ban rate for us. She is 100% pick band for our team.
Oh, yeah.
So they start off with a Kha'Zix ban. We saw a side swap, so now they're all going to be on the blue side, the bottom side.
Right. We see the classic Zaya ban right off the bat.
Yep.
Karthus ban.
So they banned Kha'Zix, Karthus. Look like they're trying to target the jungle. I'm a little surprised by this because, let's be honest, usually people, when they get a really bad game, they like to ban a lot of stuff they saw. So I was expecting Katarina ban, maybe a Karma ban, and a Philios ban. Those are the things I was expecting to see. Mm-hmm. This is a little bit surprising to me. There's at least the Philios ban.
Philios ban.
Let's see if Montana pulls out Katarina again.
Yeah.
Katarina has been 100% represented for us throughout the entire season. So she has been either banned or picked for us every single time, even though, again, our Katarina player is not our mid laner. It happens to be the swap that we like to do. Yeah. Let's see if Montana goes for it again.
Okay, we see the Soraka ban.
Okay.
All right.
So with blue side, you get the very first pick. So sometimes I like that because I can solidify something really busted for myself.
Mm-hmm. Or sometimes you can even use it as a fourth ban.
Right.
If you liked it. Like they banned Set last time, and this time they had the first pick, so they just first
exactly
picked
to your point, and that's how I like to play it. Oh, and we see the Katarina.
We see the Katarina pick again.
I
was hoping the bear comp would come out.
It would have been nice. Katarina.
They
is not
lied to us.
Yeah,
they said they'd pull it out.
There was murmurs in the room of a bear comp being run, but they're going to do Katarina to keep that 100% pick ban rate, which is great. To really solidify that comp as our strategy. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing a lot of the same things from Montana that we saw last time. So we see Set, Warwick. Okay.
That's going to be fun.
Warwick has great objective control. So Warwick as a champion may not be as powerful as other champions, but his objective control, especially in solo queue, can really win you games.
Yeah. I used to, right before Mumu, Warwick was my main.
Yeah.
And I loved, literally level 4, you could 1v1 drag.
Yeah. And we see a Mordekaiser pick, and this is a little bit surprising to me. And I think, again, they picked an order. So I'm not sure if they know that they can swap. So you can actually pick something that you aren't necessarily intending to play and swap it to a lane. Mm-hmm. And so looks like Mordekaiser will be mid, which you see sometimes. Mordekaiser is a very good champion across the board. He has that isolation ult that can really do a lot of things.
Yeah.
We are seeing the same exact picks, basically, from Montana. It looks like they're trying to run it down again. Yeah. Which, it was successful. Why not do it again? As a coach, I don't like to do that too much because I like to essentially throw multiple things out there and try multiple things. But looks like we're just trying to solidify the strategy. It's newer for us, and that's okay too. But it looks like we're seeing that. So it looks like we're probably going to get a lot of support bans here again from Montana. As their
bans the Darius.
The Darius ban is surprising to me. So why is this surprising? EWU has their top, supposedly. I mean, any of these could go anywhere else, but that is their top jungle.
Mordekaiser and Set are both heavy top laners. Those are the two. Mordekaiser has the AP, so we can see him in mid lane.
Yeah.
That's most likely the best bet there, but they shouldn't have to ban Darius at all, seeing those two picks.
Set can be played oftentimes in top, mid, or even jungle, but he's not. He's one of those three roles, right? And then Mordekaiser, he's usually a top and a mid. Mm-hmm. We did see a Set support last week, actually. I think it was last week or the week before. We did see that. But the Darius ban was questionable. I will say that.
Yeah.
Cassiopeia ban, we didn't want to see Cass in the bot lane, and that's fair. Mm-hmm. We got a Vayne. It's a little bit different. Where last time we did... Oh, he couldn't have picked a Philios. It was banned. So we see the Vayne.
Right.
Vayne is a fascinating champion. One I'm very opinionated about. Everyone knows me as the Vayne. I have the opinion about Vayne that's very surprising. And I'll elaborate on that once these are done.
Yeah.
But... So we're seeing what's likely to be their bot and support here being picked up by EWU, and they're all the way down, and they pick Jin. Very classic AD. Jin is a very safe AD because he can do an ult from a very far range away. And then let's see what they pick up for support. With Jin, oftentimes you want either some sort of CC because you can combo the CC with Jin's W, which is a lockdown, but that lockdown only happens if they're marked by something, right? So that mark occurs when a teammate hits an ability, if he hits an auto attack, things like that. So oftentimes you want to be with another lockdown, and that's what they got there was a Lux. So what they can do here is they do a Lux snare or a Lux E even to slow them down, and then Jin can follow up with the W, and that's a long CC chain, and that can be a lot of damage.
We see a Wish as grabbing. Oh, we see a Volley Bear pick. We do have the bear.
So we got a bear.
A bear.
We got a single bear.
A singular bear.
That is likely going to be over to Jet Jaguar. Jet Jaguar loves Volibear. Volibear is his favorite champion. When he plays TFT, he goes Volibear all the time. Whenever Volibear's in, he'll go in. So,
I thought Set was his favorite champion.
Set is his favorite champion in actual competitive play that he plays at. But Volibear's his
It's like favorite, just like favorite in general.
Yeah, it's the bear. He likes to scream, "I'm a bear," and things like that. So it's his favorite champion. So we see the Vayne Yuumi bot, and so I want to talk about this lane. This is an awful bot lane for Montana. They drafted a losing lane significantly, and so this is where I get really involved as a coach, is the bot lane. I'm a support main. I've been supporting for a very long time, and supports sort of control the lane, right? They set the tone, and oftentimes supports are doing the damage early. And so one of the reasons I don't like Vayne very much as a champion is that Vayne early game is not very good. I mean, if played at the highest of levels, she can be fine, but she can't farm. So she's getting consistently poked down by opposing supports that are longer range, like a Lux or a Jhin. And if she does get to that farm, she's taking a lot of damage. And if, for some reason, let's say you're playing with some sort of engage or something like a Blitzcrank or a Thresh with that Vayne doesn't have enough damage early game to really follow up on a lot of these kills, a lot of these engages. So Vayne early game is one of the worst AD carries in the game. Now, we all know what Vayne happens when she turns to late game. She turns into this late game monster. So why I'm so opinionated about her is, I don't like the binary aspect of that, because you're essentially asking your team to 4v5 for 20 minutes of the game until Vayne can finally start being relevant. Whereas other ADs can still be relevant in the early game and even powerful in the late game. They might not be as powerful as Vayne, but they can still be really potent. So Jinx is a great example. Jinx late game is still a monster. Jinx late game, she gets there, she's going to carry the game, right? Vayne too. But Jinx early game is still really good. And so that's what we like to see. Usually a Jinx or a Caitlyn. These sort of champions that can late game carry, but can also do well in the early game. So that's why you don't see a Vayne oftentimes in pro play. Where you see Vayne oftentimes picked is when that AD carry feels so significantly better and skilled than their opponent, and that they can outplay them in that early game and then scale to that late game. So that's usually where you see Vayne being picked up. And so, I don't necessarily mind the pick in this situation because I think Rusk has a skill advantage over his opponent. However, I don't think the champion is well designed for competitive play. It's very good in solo queue. That's fine.
Yeah.
The competitive play, Vayne isn't a very good champion because if you ever are equal skilled, or let's say you get outplayed a game, Vayne will never be essentially a factor in the game. Whereas something like a Caitlyn, a Jinx, Jhin, they can always be a factor even if they're not ahead, right?
Right.
Jhin behind can still land an ultimate from really far away and still do significant slowing damage, things like that. Whereas Vayne has to be up in your face. The only thing that makes Vayne a viable champion is that she does a lot of damage, right? Whereas she doesn't really bring a whole lot of utility to the game. Whereas other AD carries can, even though they're doing a lot of damage, like a Jinx, right? Jinx can still do rockets from really far away. She can do slows, snares, those kinds of things. Vayne doesn't do any of that. She has one knockback that she needs to get up in your face about. So Vayne as a champion, actually, I'm really opinionated about. We talked about this for a long time, but it's the meme across the team, and I think they picked it because they know I'm casting.
Yeah, I think I saw
rant about
Rusk walk up to the window of our office here and stare you down until he saw you turn and go, "Oh, you picked the Vayne."
Yeah. So we get the question: does anyone play Callista anymore? So. Callista is someone that's very binary as well. Callista is also in that same space of if you have a skill advantage over your opponent, Callista can really, really scale out past a game. But Callista mechanically is probably the most mechanically challenging champion, one of the most challenging champions in the game, right? Mm-hmm. Because she has the attack dash that's really hard to do, right?
Right, like the auto kite, basically.
And it's something that you really have to have like a high APM, actions per minute, and you need to be able to do that. So with someone like Ryan, our old top laner, Cass, he was very good at Callista because he has a high APM. He was a StarCraft player, and so he played Callista a lot because he had a high APM.
Yeah. Oh, we see an early invade coming from the University of Montana. Volibear up in the front, ready to throw someone back. They're looking.
Again, they asked the question, do we feel like our level 1 is strong? And again, they're with the scenario. They have that level 1 karma, and they are probably going to have a better level 1 than almost anyone else in the game because karma's level 1 is one of the strongest in the game. So that's why they do that invade. So you'll usually see teams do that. They'll invade.
We see Set and Karma in mid lane with Katarina there. Let's see if our cameraman will jump. Yep. There we go. There was a little bit of damage going off. But not quite a trade.
One of the things I didn't like to see there, something that Montana wasted a lot of gold on, Wish bought a pink ward at level 1. You don't see this very often, and so he has no pots. And he dropped that pink ward in that bush right where Jin's at right now, and then EWU just killed it. So there was no value given for them. And so it's a small advantage, but that's a big advantage. Yuumi now has no pots in lane, which, again, it's Yuumi. How much do you really need? But that's something you don't like to see. So that was not necessarily a well-executed level 1 for Montana.
You see some good farming coming off here. We didn't see EWU take a big counter jungle like they did last game. So we don't see that kind of early trade.
Right. We're seeing very standard jungle routes right now. You see Warwick grab the red and then hop over to the other side where Volibear's doing a more full clear. Volibear has a very healthy clear. If he ever does get low, he gets that big passive regen. The problem with Volibear jungle, actually, as a champion, is that his clear is pretty slow. But his ganks are actually pretty good, surprisingly. And obviously, it's Jet Jaguar is one of his favorite ones, so he'll make Volibear jungle work no matter what it takes. The interesting matchup across all of these, by the way, is this bot lane matchup. So this is where we're going to see some real things being done, is that the bot lane for EWU actually has the very big counter.
Katarina almost getting first blood there. Has Ignite on Mordekaiser. Doesn't quite take him out.
Not quite enough. And so we saw the flash from Mordekaiser, but Ignite traded for Katarina. And so Mordekaiser did get out with just enough, and he's going to be able to reset. But while you think, he didn't get the kill, what's almost even as valuable is the fact that he pushed him off the wave. So you see Mordekaiser at 6 farm, and all of this farm here, this is a huge advantage as you get higher up in play, is that those minion control.
And so we see a good engagement coming from EWU there, giving first blood to Warwick on the Volibear, and Cole's almost going down as well. We see a flash over the wall, but Katarina's coming up, potentially ending, and takes out Warwick there, and Set is going pretty low here, and a double kill goes to Katarina, and Coles was able to get away with it too.
And the double buff. It was really good, though, too, that our cameraman's panned over to Volibear respawning in the fountain. I wasn't sure if he was going to get that respawn in the fountain, so I'm really glad that we highlighted that. That was really good.
I'm glad we got that pop-up, because I like seeing that our bear was still alive.
Yeah, that's good. I'm really glad our cameraman took that time to do that. But this is the interesting matchup, is that bot lane. So the bot lane for EWU has the essentially almost like a kill lane, is that if Lux lands the snare and Jin lands a W, they can really rotate a ton of damage out there. Whereas Vayne is just trying to farm it out, and Yumi's just there to try to heal her up. So what EWU needs to be doing is getting up there, poking her out, essentially forcing Vayne off the wave, and that's how you beat a Vayne in lane. It's actually super simple to do. A lot of people don't understand that's how you beat Vayne, but that's actually how you beat her. Is that you just don't let her get to that point, right? At this moment where she's farming in lane, EWU should be really pushing her off. They should be standing much farther up, constantly attacking her, whether it's auto attacks or whatever. Really attack that health bar.
Oh, and Volleyball Bear gets a kill mid lane on the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, well, I mean, we see the double buffs go over to Katarina, and I mean, we've all been that laner, that solo laner, where your jungler dies to your opponent, and you're sort of hopeless. And so Montana really utilized those double buffs with the gank and really came.
We do see Dragon is up. Could we get the timers up? For our cameraman here. Ooh. Thank you very much. We do have Mountain Drake right off the bat here.
And you see that lockdown, and they did it under turret, so very well done from EWU. But we saw the lockdown that I've been talking about with this bot lane. Between Jin and Lux, you have a long amount of CC. Ooh, and Warwick's
coming in for a good gank. Good Q to dash over with a fear. Not quite getting... Oh, and Kane's going in to kill Warwick right off the bat right there. He was going in just a little too deep. He was hungry for that kill. Katarina's coming down for the cleanup, though. Lux is basically out of mana. Has a slowdown there. But Katarina knows that Lux is there with no mana. Jumps in. Does a lot of damage. Gets a kill. Jin's the only one left. Let's see if Katarina can pull it off. Gets an ultimate down and gets a double kill. Mordekaiser's coming in to try to 1v3, and Rusk gets a kill on the Mordekaiser as Karma up in top lane killed Set.
Oh, wow. So we're seeing the Katarina get to that point again. We've been fairly successful in this Katarina pick with getting to this point. And you might think, well, why don't you just play Katarina all the time? She's super busted. Well, the idea is to not let her get to that point, and so they got her that early kill with that double buff, and this is something that Shy is so good at.
And we see Warwick potentially stealing Dragon here. We'll see. And it did come down to that smite game. And Warwick gets a kill on Volleyball Bear as well. In a 2v1, Warwick's going to stay. Getting poked out by Vayne here. Rusk is able to just easily clean up the Warwick. Yumi eating those jungle fruits.
Yeah. So we saw Vayne really be able to just sit there and kite and do all her damage. The Yumi's helping her with that kiting ability early, and so she has that completed... I forget the name of that item, the Bilgewater Cutlass. It's such a good item. It gives her that slow as well as a lot of healing in lane. And so again, what we talked about, how do you beat Vayne? You don't let her farm. You have to keep poking her, and that helps her with that those trades that she can still regen off of those pokes.
And we can see that Vayne's even up on CS from the Jhin.
Yeah,
just a couple though.
And
even.
And as a bot lane, as a support main, this is something you don't want to see. This is Vayne's weakest part of the game, and if she's 3-0 and she's out farming you at this point of the game, you don't even want to know what's going to happen.
And Shy gets another kill on Mordekaiser here under a turret too. Wow.
Under the turret, he's vastly outgolded right now, and that's sort of the problem is. And some of that's his own fault. Some of it is the fact that the jungler died to him, and so the problem is he's so behind that he's going to get dove. Katarina is almost to the Gunblade, and the Gunblade's the big power spike. But in the meantime, he also has the Bilgewater Cutlass and the healing on him to Mordekaiser's single rod. So there's nothing Mordekaiser can really do. He can alter, but that doesn't really mean anything. Oh, no.
The jungle camps were stolen. Suppression coming from Warwick here. But Katarina's getting off a lot of good damage, but Warwick's coming back at it, almost getting pulled by Mordekaiser. Shy gets shut down by the Warwick just for a small wolf camp.
Yep. And with any player, right, as you get more and more hyphy, as we like to think of it, right, you're like, I can kill him, I can kill him, I can kill him. There's always a line where you gotta sort of slow down, and that's Johnny toes that line a lot. Shy toes that line all the time.
Warwick coming in for a good gank up here on Karma, fearing him away from the turret, but taking 2 hits or 3 hits from the turret and going down to the Karma. who she has that passive W heal we were talking about from last game. Set ulting her. She heals it right back up and goes back in for a nice sweep with the auto attack kill finish on Set up there in top lane. And Volibear kills Mordekaiser down there in mid.
So I want to talk about this top for a second, and I'm going to be interrupted by a bunch of kills again from Katarina. That's what's going to happen. But it's so fascinating to me. This is one of my favorite picks for Coles to get is this Karma, because it's so deceiving, right? The set goes in thinking, oh, he's low right here. Warwick's going in thinking this Karma's almost dead, right?
Getting feared.
Joke's on him, right? Look at this. Is that he can just sit there and just between grasp procs, between the slows, between his W, he can sort of just keep alive. And it might look like he was in danger, but playing with him enough, I'll tell you, at no point was he worried. And either of those kills he just had, he was never close to dying. He manages those cooldowns really well between his empowered Ws and his E's. That
Oh, here we go. They're coming in. Katarina gets a kill with her ult. Goes in. Jhin is looking pretty low, but so is Katarina. Katarina slays Jhin. Mordekaiser comes in to take her out right at the end there.
Yeah, we got another shutdown on Katarina. So this is something actually, again, we talked about towing that line. They're doing the dives and they're executing it well, but they're trading kills, and this isn't necessarily good. You might think that Montana's dominating, but those traded kills are not worth it. They're getting more gold out of it than we are. So
here we see Mordekaiser getting taken out by Vayne Yuumi, and we see Karma coming in to assist the Volibear, popping down with Volibear passive on the Warwick there, and Jet Jaguar getting a kill. Set comes in, trying to do a 2v1 now right at the end. Ulted Volibear, doesn't splash onto the Karma, and Volibear takes out Set.
That was a very nice flash from Volibear. I don't think it really mattered, but that's something that's really important to notice what he did there. You notice he flashed into the bush, and so oftentimes you'll flash away, and maybe they can still catch up with some range ability of some kind. But he flashed into the bush to immediately get out of vision, and so that was a very nice flash, and it was a very nice fight, well executed from them. Again, they're towing that health line between the two of them with Volibear's passive, Karma's shields. Again, I don't think Volibear was very close to dying there. I might think it was, but they were very much in control of that situation.
And it looks like Infernal Drake is up, and EWU looks to be rotating around, trying to get some good vision. Rift Herald has gone down and placed up in top lane there.
So early Rift Herald is one of the best objectives that League has ever actually known, right? So the gold value you get from an early Rift Herald is so insane because that 12-minute Rift Herald like they did.
Jhin goes down real fast to Katarina there.
They get the lockdown.
Here we go. Lux is going... doesn't take quite as much damage as I thought she would from Katarina. Katarina's getting poked down. Mordekaiser chasing her. Gets a tower hit.
And unfortunately, Mordekaiser wasting his flash to chase after him.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. We see Jet Jaguar and Karma taking out Warwick in a 1v2.
And we see the lanes just pushing. And so Montana's really sort of learning their lesson from the last game of trying to end the game early. That Rift Herald is a huge deal. So before the turret platings fall, and I think it's 15 minutes.
14 minutes.
14 minutes, yeah. So that Rift Herald before that, I believe guarantees 3 platings, and so that early Rift Herald is worth so much gold just in platings alone, as well as like breaking open those turrets early are so huge. So it was really good of Montana to secure that early Rift Herald and drop it pre-14. That's sort of something we've been trying to work on, is getting that Rift Herald really, really fast and dropping it really fast.
Yeah, because now they have that 2-minute lead before Baron actually gets up from where they have to take Rift Herald.
Right.
So, and we've seen it in the past. You guys are able to get Rift Herald twice in one game. Almost all the time. Whether it's you get it twice or you get it and then the enemy gets it, it's able to be grabbed twice.
Right. So the Rift Herald will despawn at 1950. If it's engaged, it will despawn at 1955. And so it despawns for Baron to spawn. It respawns 6 minutes after being killed. So if you kill it at 11 minutes, it'll respawn again at 70 minutes, giving you a solid 3 minutes to kill it again. The first one is much more valuable than the second one because of what we were talking about. Those early initial platings are worth so much gold. 120 gold per plating, depending on how many people are there. It could be split between your teammates or whatever. But that Rift Herald is essentially worth 360 gold, localized, but also in the fact of like first turret has a ton of gold associated with it. Because oftentimes when you're taking down 3 plates, you're taking down the whole turret. So that first Rift Herald is so important. The second one, while it's nice, oftentimes isn't necessarily a huge deal. Not as big as the first one. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see this Karma do what it does again. Again, set thinking there, oh, I can kill her. She's super low. I'll just use my ult. And
Warwick coming in for the 1v2 even. Well, we get a fear on Karma. Karma heals up. Pokes out Set. Hits the pine cone.
And just gets away. There's really nothing they can do, and it's really unfortunate because it's so surprising. The way you beat this Karma is you just...
There goes Jet Jaguar killing Lux with Katarina there. And we see Warwick suppressing the Volley Bear, and Katarina ulting, getting off a kill on Warwick, and then Mordekaiser and Jared triple kill onto the Set as well. Woo!
Just Katarina things.
Just Katarina things.
Just Captain Ring.
Click an R button.
Yeah.
Bringing them all down to a quarter health.
He's really good at Katarina, but I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think he just slams his keyboard because that champion really doesn't. That's all you gotta do. So,
that's all you gotta
do. It makes me wonder if I just slam my keyboard hard enough at it, if I'd be good at Katarina.
Yeah.
You know,
if you can jump around the screen fast enough, they won't see you coming. So then you just win anyways.
The last time I played Katarina was in an ARAM, and there you go. At level 5. No joke, I got a pentakill from just... I didn't know what I was doing, but you just slam your keys enough, and she does so much damage from resets, like the whole team fighting ability, the sort of, like, not synchronized team fighting from the opponents, and that's where Katarina excels, is like when the opponents don't really know what the heck's going on. So that's where she can really excel, because no one can really just lock her down. And again, how you counter this Katarina, if you're ever wondering, my opponent's pick Katarina and I don't want this to happen to me, you really got to pick champions that have point-and-click CCs. The Fiddlesticks of the world, the Lulus, the Renekton's,
the Warwick has a good... His E is just... It's good. But a double kill coming out from Katarina, a triple kill going down, a Set Quadra, and a pentakill... From what I'm seeing, is really close. Jin is only one left alive for it. He's running it down.
He is.
He can't find him. Getting hit. Maybe she'll jump under base.
He really wants it, but I think the time may have passed.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting it.
Oof.
Oh, channeling the ult.
And the Jin baits her.
Ooh, and taken out.
Gets the kill. What a good bait. And then they end up with the FF.
They FF and surrendered yet again at 17 minutes.
So Montana was able to pick their champions again and execute exactly like what we said, right? Mm-hmm. So they want to pick that Katarina and they want to snowball it ahead. They have not been unsuccessful in that strategy so far. And so it's been something we like to do at Montana, but that's, if EWU really wants to stand a chance against this strategy, if any team wants to stand a chance against this strategy, what you got to do is you really have to shut down the Katarina. Mm-hmm. And why this pick is so fascinating is because even when you shut it down, you have to shut it down really hard. It can't just be a little bit. You can't just kill her once. You have to kill her over and over and over again. So very good job from Montana. A very clean victory that time. They really pushed it, and they were able to end the game really fast. And that's what I like to see.
Yeah, that was really well executed. I really hope we see the Bear Comp next time.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really hoping for it.
I'm surprised Coach Kale didn't pull it out.
Yeah.
But they put Katarina on the board again.
Yep.
Again, she's at that 100% pick ban rate. A little bit surprised she didn't get banned.
Yeah.
And I think
after the first game, I was surprised they didn't just immediately ban. Out of everything that you can ban, of like, an enemy team got a ban what I just played against, Katarina should have definitely just... Yeah. That's the only thing, and maybe they could try to deal with the rest through other picks.
I think Shy leads the Big Sky in kills, and that is almost entirely due to these Katarina games. Again, he's our jungle main, actually. We didn't see him today in jungle.
I mean, his Nocturne game from last weekend was huge in his kills rate.
Right. He'll in some of the times in jungle pop off, but oftentimes or a lot of those kills that he's getting those stats from are these Katarina picks.
Yeah.
He's able to really get Katarina and just really snowball a game out of control and put the team on his back in that way. And we like to see that as the coaches. We like to see our teams. I don't necessarily need any of our players to pop off like that, but what I need is that none of my players to lose the game, and someone on the team has that responsibility, and someone will step up to win the game like that.
Yeah.
And Shai is very willing, and he does that a lot, and we see that a lot in these games. But I want to emphasize that actually all of our players are very capable of doing this, and they do it quite frequently. We see it more oftentimes in scrims, so our players, any given player will eventually put the team on their back. Mm-hmm. But that's sort of the idea, is that nobody will lose the game for us, but people will step up. And if in the worst case scenario, we really have to come together as a team and win as a team. But oftentimes we see stuff like this where one player just really steps up and just wins the game. And we like to see that. What we don't like to see is the flip side of that, one person losing. And we haven't seen that much this year. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that's what we have for League today. We do have Overwatch starting at 6 o'clock today, so in about 40 minutes. So feel free to join us then.
I'm super excited. It's their first game.
Yeah, it's the first game of the season for Overwatch, so we're excited to cast it, excited to stream it, and we hope you guys will join us for it too. With that, we bid you adieu, and this is us signing off.